Okay, wonderful. So good evening to those people in Australia and good morning to all of the overseas people that we have joining us from all different parts of the world. So today, this evening and this morning, we have the beautiful Barbara Flügge. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Susan.
Beautiful. So we have Barbara here, and she has been working for over 2 years, 2.5 years, in really bringing this book to life. And so we're joined today with lots of people joining us here on Zoom and joining us from Facebook Live, and some may be joining us at a later stage. So we have, and I'll ask you to correct me if I don't have this right, but what I wanted to do was just introduce Barbara, who, like I said, has brought this project together and worked with us, and we're very proud to say this is our very first bilingual book. So that's really exciting. But Barbara's had, over these last 2.5 years, had over 20 contributors, over 4 continents, if I'm correct, and over 10 industry sectors. And that really is an amazing effort and really collective minds. So we're really with the, we're just putting everyone on mute. So sorry, we're going live, which is always exciting, but we're having everyone on mute. I love this because it really is a way to be able to show people that we are all around the world, and that we can ask everyone, like I said, to mute themselves so that we can hear from Barbara in a short moment. Okay, so as we said, this is really a collective from mid-sized businesses to large corporations. And it's really about covering things like the resilience factor. And we're going to hear from Barbara now. Really, it's not all about me. It's about me living my dream by sharing amazing people like Barbara, where they've got so much knowledge to share with the world. And we have been able to bring all of that knowledge and bring it into a book that is quite a big book. It's a really solid book, and it's quite heavy, and it's full of amazing content. But what I'm going to do now is just pass you over to Barbara, because I'd like to hear from Barbara, and I'm sure everyone here would love to hear really what inspired you to write this book.
Well, thanks, Susan, first for the warm welcome, and also greetings to everyone today, but also later. Well, what inspired me is the whole topic about mobility, right? So I'm studying, working in the mobility sector for many, many years. And having said so, for me, mobility is the right for everyone to move freely. And we also not only seeing that from the pandemic, what it means to us, mobility, but also what it means, let's say, when we're looking for a product or a service, and ourselves, how mobile are we? And this is actually what inspired me to really look into how we can make a benefit and contribute to actually foster this right for everyone to be mobile and to move freely. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I know that you are a wealth of knowledge. Have you written other books?
Yes, I did. I wrote books, as I said, about mobility as such, so the core element of smart mobility. So actually, these are 4 books overall. Also, because of I wrote in English and in German, so I have several different editions there. I wrote about the role of cars and what it means to us, because we have, of course, a discussion about sustainability and sustainable transport and traveling. And I also contributed to a number of books from businesses like SAP and others, and also for EU research projects, for example. Yes, so this is where I contributed to, and also articles and conference publications, for example. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what I love about that is, you know, Barbara is well known for her knowledge and being published by a lot of large academic companies or publishers like Springer and the like. But what I love about this is Barbara's heart and soul, and her way of being able to have 100% contribution on what goes in the book and how she wanted to bring it to life. And when you see how not only inspiring and full of knowledge it is, but it's also beautifully presented, which is something that's a little bit different than probably what people would see in the academic type books. So I think it makes it easy on the eye, and it really helps you bring this wealth of knowledge together. So when you do see the book, it's in beautiful color. It's a masterpiece and a beautiful compilation of everything that Barbara has done with herself and the other contributors. But Barbara, can you tell me who this book is for, and what are they going to get out of this book?
Yes, so the book actually, you know, from the title, Mobility Moves Minds, is dedicated to the people. So it's dedicated to the people that are shaping their own personal career paths, that are shaping their private lives, but also the company leaders and the managers and the ones that are actually looking into bringing businesses forward. So the subtitle is Build and Grow Again as a Business. And this might sound controversial, but actually companies are made of people. So it is for the ones that like to look into, why did I overcome a certain obstacle in my life, but I like to know how I did it and why I did it. So I would like to reflect upon it. Others are there that actually like to say, okay, yes, I feel my company is being stuck, or is it me, the company leader or the manager or the team lead? So it is for the ones that like to find out about the topic of resilience in a very, let's say, personal way. And on the other hand, also looking into the business element. So taking our experience from private, but also other occurrences, and bringing that into a business context.
And also inside of the book, you know, you talk, I mean, there's so much. I think at the end of the day, people just need to buy the book to be able to really get everything that there is, because we've only got a short time here to cover some of it. But, you know, you talk about the triad of mobility. You talk about there's 3 dimensions. And I know that there's 3, you know, major parts inside of the book. But tell me, why are there 3 dimensions to mobility?
So when you look at the book cover, right, you see these 3 yellow dots here, and they are about talking about the physical, the digital, and the mental, so the cognitive mobility. And I put these 3 together because when I researched and worked in hundreds of project days and field prototypes and product projects within corporates and for customers and clients, very often we look into, of course, the physical mobility being a product to be shipped from A to B to C, our own mobility for city visits, for being a business traveler. We look into digital mobility because we would like to bring a piece of furniture not only as a product to the client, but also in a digital format. And I'm not talking about, like, let's say, a web shop where you can order it, but let's say you put your wisdom around how to make a great dinner table into a service, and you offer the service, like knowledge or know-how as a service, right? And what it takes for me, that's what I found out in many of these projects, also looking into where companies and individuals get stuck, is about the capacity and the capability of looking into our own cognitive flexibility. This is how psychologists call it. So are we mentally prepared to actually move our mind from a physical to a digital environment? And I'd like to give you another example. So I talked about this, like a furniture company. I talked about, let's say, a manager or an expert that says, I'm very good in designing a physical product, but actually I like to go beyond the physical boundaries, and that's why I like to look into what is digitally possible. So we need our creative intelligence to really, let's say, ideate these scenarios and what it could be. And actually, Dean Publishing is a perfect example of the triad of mobility moves minds and of mobility. Why? Because on the one hand side, of course, you are in the book business, right? So we have the physical book, but with the book for the buyers and the readers of the physical book comes along the interactive version. So, and it's not just an ebook, it's really about let's say you can make notes digitally to all of the sections in the book, right? You can enhance it, you can look online if you find a term that actually is not familiar to you, because we get into the glimpse of psychology here as well, like social identities, new normality. So what does it mean? So you can look it up. So it also helps really to go beyond the typical book. It's really a study program. So you actually bring it together. So the move from physical to digital by this creative intelligence. And this is really a perfect example, right? So this is this triad I found out is very important, because we have a lot of cities complaining about, for example, that the city centers are get vanished because e-commerce. So everyone takes away from us the physical business. So we need to look into the digital part to actually bring back life to the city centers and all the great rural areas as well, right? And this is why we need this, I call it like the middleman. So, and this is mental or cognitive mobility. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it really is about being, you know, especially in times like now where we've, you know, never had a time like this in history, where things are changing, and it's being resilient, it's being innovative. And like Barbara said, you know, today we're here to launch the ebook, and then in the next few days you'll start seeing all the physical book and the interactive all coming to life. But you know, like Barbara said, you know, once you get in there, when you know a lot of you know, the video industry has changed. You know, I remember my parents owned a video shop with the old beta and VHS tapes. You know I'm showing my age a bit here, but you know, I remember working as a teenager there, and they had to innovate, and look how fast that's gone, or Kodak and different companies like that. So it is all about, you know, being resilient but being innovative in the digital world. And you know, there is so much packed in this. And like I said, this book and why Barbara and I connected so much was because it was really important for Barbara when she knew that we were a company that was moving with the times, but also Barbara is sharing so much in the book, but also additional little surprises that are in the interactive book that bring the book to life, that make it something unique. And this is very cutting edge because it's something that's very new and not being done out there. So Barbara is one of the, you know, innovators that's joining us with this platform of interactive books that allows you to see video and audio and look up a word, like I said, in Wikipedia and different things. You just highlight it and look it up. So you're gaining knowledge as you go. So there's so much, like I said, that's packed into this book, but also into the other items. And what's so great is that, you know, in a moment, you know, we're going to share all about what you can do in purchasing the book and how that's actually going to include the interactive book for the moment during our launch, which is really exciting. But the one thing that you also mention and is so prevalent right now is resilience. You know, most, you know, basically resilience is often seen as personal growth. How do we become so resilient in life and overcome obstacles? But you talk a lot about corporate resilience. Explain a little bit to the listeners here. What do you mean by this?
Yes, so exactly like you rightly said, resilience, also when you look into corporations, how resilience, it's being trained is, you find it a lot, of course, in the HR department and personal development plans, right? Where you look into mindfulness and others. To me, actually, this part of resilience I'm referring to is about a company being able to withstand these obstacles. So to withstand the intruders, the disruptors that actually harm my business, the ones that actually go there and take away your clients. And even the point is, you're not really noticing it. So there are many businesses out there that looking into and said, oh, if we had known it before, if we had read the signs of the environment, the signs in the markets. And that's why I'm combining this individual resilience. I mean, there are these 7 streams or 7 elements when psychologists look into the individual resilience. I actually, and I have to admit it by coincidence, I put together with the colleagues from the project team and from the many contributors here, I put together a format of 7 pillars of corporate resilience. And it's really about looking into every, let's say, single corner of an organization and looking into what it takes to overcome these obstacles, but also learning about it and ideating a new kind of offering, looking into how we can shape the market offering differently so that we are taking these intruders and the disruptors and the changes in the markets as hurdles to be taken, but not as roadblocks that stop us, right? Roadblocks that stop the companies. And this is why individual resilience actually is then giving the signs of the staff, of experts in the organization, and the corporate resilience, the corporate resilient management actually takes that and takes it and really is also sensing it and listening to it, but is also adjusting the service and the operations model to actually better perform and grow again in the market. So it's about taking the corporation as an ecosystem, like an organism, like what we hear in one of the stories about the organism in cities. It's the same like when you look into corporations, there are also organisms, and every one of your team leaders, managers, staff, experts are contributing to this organism. And the question is how to organize this. And this is actually then the 7-pillar approach, this procedure, framework, and model that's being introduced in the third part of the book. Yeah.
Amazing. And it really does support leaders in transforming their business, this book. For sure. It's just, there's so much packed in here. Like I said, that I think people are just going to have to grab the book to really experience it. And, you know, we've got, like I said before, the book itself is, you know, beautifully presented. You know, I don't know whether you can see some of these beautiful colors and diagrams that are put in there. The book just comes to life and really explains things and, you know, brings together Barbara's beautiful brand in the 3 parts here. So, you know, it really has brought it into a manageable way to be able to really, you know, understand that these, you know, 3 dimensions of mobility are captured not only in being able to, you know, read the information and capture everyone's thought around that and resilience. And as you said, I know there's lots of amazing contributors, and one of our other authors, Sarifa Alantis Yunus, she talks about overcoming obstacles, and many other contributors that have helped bring this together. But being able to, Barbara's packaged it just so beautifully in those 3 parts that it really makes it easy for the readers to digest in these, you know, 3 dimensions. Now, you also talk about supporting homeless entrepreneurs. That's very dear to my heart, because what I love is when, you know, entrepreneurs and people are out there and they're sharing their knowledge, but they're also thinking about, you know, giving back and that legacy that you leave and building. But I'd like you to share with the listeners today not just what is the home, you know, I'd like to know what is the homeless entrepreneur, and then how is that related to the book?
Yes, very, very, very welcome to express that. And I'm also glad that Andrew is here and also listening, and also is here on the video. Andrew Funk from Homeless Entrepreneur. So it's a non-for-profit organization that talks about how talent can change everyone's life. So really bringing back the talent of individuals that got jobless, that got homeless for whatever circumstance, right? So we are very close in the pandemic. There are many people at the edge of let's say, losing their jobs and their homes and becoming homeless, right? And for me, actually, I had some, let's say, some occasions in my life about homelessness, and I always wanted to look into what does it take to actually go beyond the typical corporate social responsibility programs. Nothing wrong about that, but I wanted to really look into that we have like a long-lasting effect and impact for the individuals that got homeless. So a homeless entrepreneur and we from Digital Value Creators, we actually partnered up and said, okay, what does it take to bring back job opportunities to the homeless? Let's say the more books we sell here, the more we can give to homeless entrepreneur, because every profit I make, and I already made in the contributions from my givers, right, from the donators in the past, over the 2.5 years, 1/5 went over to homeless entrepreneur. But I really like to do more, because I really believe that the more, for example, we sell, the more jobs I can generate, because I can create a job, because let's say we have a dedicated company edition of the book. We have a dedicated workbook for the individuals and the leaders. And I can hire then jobless and homeless people, right? And looking into that and really helping there, but helping for them to become independent again. And I think that's for me the core part why I like really the mission of Homeless Entrepreneur so much. And because it's a sign of really a sustainable business as well. So it's bringing together again, building up and helping to experience individual resilience for the ones that are in these misery situations. And on the other hand, as a business and as a company, as a leader, and for everyone else out there to really look into what can be done to actually, I call it to end the absurdity of homelessness. And one last word about this and mobility. I talked about the cities, right? I talked about all these efforts to bring back smarter, let's say, solutions to cities. And we have all these smart city, of course, programs and smart regions programs. And I'm saying every smart city or every city that has a smart city project, if there's still homelessness, the city is not smart. Because smartness means that we really make use of everything we have, our intelligence, our creativity, our solutions, to really end homelessness. I mean, we are in the 21st century here, right? So that's really about homeless entrepreneur. And we started that in 2018, at the end of 2018, when we talked about meeting up at the World Economic Forum at Davos, where Andrew is there, and also really looking into bringing dedication to the homeless community for the politicians and all the great leaders out there, with big budgets as well, but also with really big decision capabilities. And this is actually how everything started. So that was at the end of 2018 already. Yeah.
Wow, that's just really amazing. And it is true, you know, they're not smart cities if we've still got homeless people. And really, you know, it's really about the book not only will help leaders transform their business, grow their business, and then in turn means that they've got opportunities to hire more people and, you know, and save people from having to end up, you know, in that situation. But like you said, it's really a shame to know that that still happens in the world. And, you know, if we can do any part of that, and you're already just opening up our minds to such an organization, that's fantastic. And we here at Dean Publishing love, it's a very core for giving back. So we'll always, love to promote people that are obviously making a difference in not just their own business and other people's businesses, but to other people that may have no relation to them at all. So that's really honorable of you, Barbara, and the organization and everything else. And so that's why we were so excited to work with you and, you know, create, like I said, the bilingual book and really bringing it to life so that the readers can see something of beauty, but knowledge, and something that is changing lives. So before we wrap up, because I know that this is streaming live for people to watch on Facebook Live and some of the other social platforms, and we will open up. I know that there's many contributors that have helped bring this together, and I know that we'd like to thank them as well. And I know collectively they're going to be, you know, sharing this as well and helping make a difference. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with the listeners here today? But before you do, I just want to say that this is one, like, this is a big book. This is a collective of amazing work here. And what Barbara's done, not only is she sharing all her knowledge and giving back, but she's got a launch that's only happening for the next couple of days. We've already hit #1 in some amazing categories with this already. And so she's only got this sale on until Sunday, and she's been very generous to offer this for, like, I say less than a cup of coffee, way less than a cup of coffee. So we've got, it's around the $3.99 to get it just until Sunday. And then it'll be going back up to the normal price for an ebook. And like I said, it also includes the interactive, even though that will be launched in the next couple of days. You can go back and visit that link. But it's really about sharing this around. It will go back up to the normal price. So jump on if you want to grab it now. She's been very kind. Is there anything you'd like to leave with the listeners? Sorry, just one more point. The links will be in the comments as well. So if you have a look at the comments later in this post, you'll have all of the links there for the English version. You'll have the German version, you'll have Australian. The other thing that we do like to note is that the red is the German and the yellow is the English. You'll see a little dot. I have the German version here, but the English version will have a yellow dot on it. So be sure to make sure that you're getting the right one. But however, to make it easy for you, we've put the links in there.
Yeah, it's here. And it's here, and of course it's also about really going beyond borders. And I found it in my career, sometimes when you look into discussions between managers and staff and experts and talking about especially change and business transformation and where a company should develop and go further, it's helpful sometimes especially to be on the same page, but even in distinct languages. So that's also one element of mobility here. As you said, it's about the whole design of the book. You will experience that, especially also in the print version. And I really like to thank all of the contributors and everyone who was actually helping me to go beyond these 2.5 years. Because it's quite a time frame, it started quite before the pandemic for me to look into resilience. So I started about that after quitting a corporate job and a management position and being on my own. And for me, it's only possible together, right? It is a collaborative effort. So where everyone actually has his and her and its role, right? So I really like to thank you. Yeah.
Beautiful. So thanks everyone on to watch this live, and jump on the comments, grab the book. It's It's an amazing read, and like you said, when you're buying it, you're also making a difference. So thank you, everyone. Okay, so the live's finished. We can take you off mute now if you'd like to let Barbara know. We've just put the comments, and so now we're just on our call here. So if anyone wants to jump off the mute, you're more than welcome now, and ask any questions or just give Barbara a congratulations. You're more than welcome.
Lesson. Oh, sorry. Great.
No, go ahead, Sabine.
Great. No words.
Thank you.
Okay. I just want to, I'm Andrew Funk, the founding president of Homeless Entrepreneur. I just wanted to thank Barbara, Susan, and everyone who's participated in this process to include us, because I can't think of resilience without homelessness and those who overcome it, or mobility as well. So including us in the process means the world. And it also shows with actions on top of words. Obviously, words are important because a book without words would be complicated to read. But the actions is what gives more meaning and power to those words. And so I just want to thank everyone who's made it possible, and all those that do buy and read it, because not only will they learn about it, they'll be showing how they can make the world a better place, because mobility moves minds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I just also want to say thank you. I downloaded the English and German version yesterday on Amazon, the Kindle version. It works. It's really cool, and it's really interactive, and I think it's a masterpiece, to be honest. So I think this book will kind of be in every bookshelf for many, many years, and you can just read it over again and again and learn something new. Thank you so much, Barbara, for being part of this journey.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
And just on that, if anyone does read the book, and you've gone through and scrolled through and read the book, please leave a review. It's really good to leave an Amazon review for Barbara, for it really makes a difference. Even Andrew, if you can jump on and leave a review, it really helps spread the word, and it helps when Amazon sees lots of comments and people putting reviews in, then they're going to share the book more as well. And that's what we want to do. So make sure that when you're sharing with people, especially over the launch and so forth, I mean, even when it goes up, it's still only around $10. So if you want an ebook, but yeah, always jump on and put a review if you can. That would be amazing. Fantastic. Is anyone else? We've got
Yes. I would.
Ulrike.
yes,
Yes.
there you go. You got your hand up. That's beautiful. I love that.
Yes, I know. There's a possibility to give reactions in Zoom. Yes, I want to say thank you, Barbara. It's a great work, really. And the most interesting thing for me is that you was able to combine the different directions of mobility, the physical mobility and resilience of mobility of transport, for instance, from coming A to B, like you mentioned in your presentation, and the resilience and the mobility of a company to give the right reaction on the market changes and so on. That's also a kind of mobility. And the third part of mobility, our mental mobility, our mobility in thinking, in changing our behavior and our how we see the world, the mental and the psychological mobility, and to bring these three parts, this three point of view together and to combine it, I think that's a quite new approach, and I can only say thank you so much, and I will show it to you now.
Thank you.
I think also clap the hands is also possible. No, I don't see it. I only can do it. Thank you so much, Barbara.
You're very welcome. And I think, Ulrike, I have not talked about it yet. I'm not a person who talks about things that are not there, right? So that's not me, right? I really like to have things deployed and have the facts there. So, but the Mobility Moves Minds project will be at the conference of HCII, where also Ulrike is chairing one of the faculty sessions, right? Yeah. And so the project, so we all will be as a very small, tiny, but we will be in a Springer book. So so the article and the poster got accepted, and it's about talking. Yes, so it's talking about the perimeter for homeless people and how this changes the perception of mobility. So there will be further coming up, but before you have to go through the book, you will contributors all will get complimentary books, of course. So and really look into these various different dimensions of resilience and how we can make a difference because of that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being at HCII and to have a contribution in the poster session. Thank you so much for you, Barbara, also. Okay.
Beautiful. So is anyone else wanted to say anything before we wrap up?
So yeah, just let's clap hands. So thank you, Barbara. Greetings here from Graz and digital, and I'm happy that you will be in Graz end of this month, and maybe we also can meet in Vienna. So happy to welcoming you in Graz.
Thank you, Gerhard.
Thanks for initiative. And although we are working on autonomous driving cars, it is so important not to forget what automated cars can do for mobility in general. And it's a pleasure to talk to you and to get new input. Congrats to your new role in the digital area in Germany. I've seen something on LinkedIn today.
Yes.
So congrats.
It's the network of the German Digital Advisory Board members. So it's about to making a difference at the highest level possible in corporations. So to really look and steer, but also to support and advise. Yeah. Thank you.
So, congrats. Thank you.
Beautiful. And it really is with books too. When a book is launched, it's only the beginning. I've worked with many authors, and even early on worked with Dr. John Gray, who wrote the famous book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and most people know that globally, and I think it was translated into 52 different languages. So imagine that this can just be the beginning. It's really about sharing this, and I think it was years later that John Gray really got known, around the world. But Barbara's had the courage to get out there and work hard and, work with us here in Australia. On the other side of the world, we've done some very early mornings, and Barbara's done some very late nights to pull this together. But the team's been really excited to work with someone such as Barbara to just really bring this out and really in alliance that it doesn't matter where you are in the world, we can all collaborative work together in this digital sense, and Zoom and everything else, that we're only only time zones away, but we can always work it out. Like I said, we've done early mornings and late nights, and but today, this evening for us, it's nearly 7:45 at night. So we're winding up now, and then it's just the kind of around lunchtime, I think. Is that right for you, Barbara?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. So thank you all for joining us, and I'm excited to start seeing some of these reviews and getting this out. So thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.